Hey there, guys, I'm back with another podcast, and today's podcast is really about, as you know from the thumbnail itself, it's about Indian football. Past couple of days, I have never, I don't know, I have not given a vlog, but today's podcast is really special to my heart because, from my heart, I love football a lot. And those who, are watching this podcast, or those who know my vlogs would have known that I like football a lot. So today's podcast is about discussing about the Indian football and how Indian football eminently just saved itself from getting a ban from FIFA World Cup. So without any further ado, let's dive into this topic and discuss some of the most nitty and rudiments of Indian football and how it actually saved itself from getting a ban in a count of 1, 2, 3. So our story starts from golden era of Indian football. Those who have actually known Indian football for a long time, I don't know, maybe from a time of 1956 or 261 or something like that, you would have known that Indian football has actually seen its peak position at this point of time, because Indian football was said to be one of the most you can just go and revisit the past, and you will know that Indian football was one of the most developed in Asia. Right now we have Asian giants like Japan, South Korea, then Iran and Australia. So these are the Asian giants which participate in the FIFA World Cup every year. But to be really honest, the first Asian team which actually got to the the World Cup was India. And to not just stand on that, India was also called the Indian dress which we used, the attire in which our team in which our team used to participate in the FIFA World Cup was also known as the Brazilians of Asia. I know it will be very it might be for some of you it might be am I speaking facts? So yes, I am speaking facts, and whereas I can go and tell you much more about Indian football, where something like the Durand Cup. I know many of you who are watching outside of India won't know what is Durand Cup, but to my surprise, I can tell you Durand Cup is a football tournament which happens in India, and it is the third oldest tournament in the world. So India in all aspect, as told by the FIFA itself after the under 17 World Cup which was held in India, they told by themselves that India in all manner is a footballing nation. So what happened to a footballing nation and how it got to a eminent FIFA ban? So the story starts when actually there is with this thing when the AIFF president is removed. So when the AIFF for a very pretty bit of time, AIFF was actually going without a president and without a constitution. So without a constitution, FIFA under the FIFA rules, a footballing nation without a body to regulate football in that country, as well as a body who will develop football in that nation, if there is no constitution regarding this football and the footballing country, they'll get a eminent ban from FIFA. So right now there is a there is this problem which is going on the football committee. What was what is the problem? The problem is that there is a constitution which has been given to the which has been made by the committee of association of the AIFF and has been submitted to the Supreme Court. So what after it has been submitted to the Supreme Court, a thing has been mentioned in the draft constitution is that there would be absolute this point, you should note this point, that there should be absolute regulation and control of the AIFF on the Premier League of that country of Indian football. So the Premier League right now in Indian football, as you all know, is ISL. So Indian Super League was actually started in 2014 with the help of FSDL. So FSDL started this in 2014, and as you can see that from there you can see that AIFF and FSDL, they had a pact and a contract of giving the rights to market football and develop football with the with the lieu of giving some of sharing, not just sharing, of sharing some share of profits to the AIFF by FSDL. So by 2014, India has seen a very rapid growth in the footballing stature, whereas we can only say that before that, only from 1956 to 61, India had seen such an era. So right now Indian football is actually on a rise, and to my utter disappointment, why would something like this would ever be given to the hands of AIFF when the AIFF itself drafted a agreement with FSDL of letting FSDL develop the sports in this nation, letting Indian Super League take the charge. And right now when they are actually drafting in its constitution that if the Premier League of a country should be in the hands of the governing federation. So the governing federation itself haven't done anything for the growth of Indian football in itself. So if you think from your perspective, you might think that okay, AIFF should be taking the charge of the governing or the Premier League of the football in that country. But to my utter disgust, I can tell you, why would somebody give their own rights and profits by making some? Would you give your own share of profits to someone who have never done anything for that thing, and right now they want the whole control just because they are the governing body of that country? So this is something insane. This will only lead India to its more and more degradation of the sports of football, because India in itself is a very big footballing nation. You can see everywhere when there is a World Cup being held or anything, or any Premier League, India has the most, I guess, English Premier League fans, after England. So we love football it's in our blood, as we can tell, from West Bengal, from Kerala, from Goa. There is countless number of cities where you can see football being played from a very early age. So from all our respect, we are a footballing nation. So right now, when the constitution has been drafted by AIFF saying that it needs all the control of the Premier League or the ISL in its own basket, it is countered by the FSDL by filing a counter lawsuit against AIFF in the Supreme Court. But this is again a thing, you can understand how will a country, if you see I-League, which was actually governed and actually promoted by AIFF, before 2014, you can go and see that there is nonetheless a menial kind of development which has happened in the Indian football. Before, and Indian football was never even after the golden era, Indian football was never even given a chance in any of those things. We were just a Asian country trying to get into the European first trying to get into the Asian qualifiers, then trying to go and we didn't even had a chance of going to the FIFA World Cup since. So this had been a long ride for India with a population of 1.4 billion, which is going to happen. It is very hard to find people playing good football in this nation. I can't believe so, and so do you people can't, because this is something which is very, very unfortunate. You can't just say that a country with 1.4 billion population can't have 11 good footballers who can compete in the FIFA World Cup. I think we have much more potential than what we are watching today, what we are having today. you can see Sunil Chhetri being the third highest scorer after Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. So it is basically, we can say that we have that potential in our country, but we don't have a specific good body which can actually govern and develop the sport in India. So for that's why when FSDL was doing the whole thing into their own hands, they have taken the marketing as well as development of the sports. Now you can see AIFF being going back on their contract which they made with FSDL, and right now wanting to take the whole control of this into their own hands, saying that AFC, by the rules of AFC and FIFA, they are obligated and they are the only body who can actually govern the Premier League of this country. So this have become a massive massive opinion of protest in former in the footballing fans among India. So basically people are right now writing tweets as well as showing their support to the FSDL, basically because they have grown this football culture in India. Right now almost everybody in this nation watches ISL. Beforehand, I-League was just too menial for people to even watch for. ISL clubs are signing some of the most best players across Asia as well as from Europe, whereas in during I-League teams used to frown upon as well as used to struggle upon getting some good foreign players to play in their league. So basically I can tell you that India has the most best time in 1951 to 1961, whereas right now India is seeing a crisis in Indian football and an imminent ban in the doorstep of Indian football. So what is your comment on this? Please do tell in the comments below that what do you think, that I-League should be the Premier League and should be under the control, as it is in total control of AIFF. It should be the Premier League and the clubs playing in I-League should be the premier clubs of this country, whereas or you want ISL to be the premier thing and you want FSDL to govern the thing and develop sports in India, whereas AIFF to control it but merge it right now, make a relegation and promotion kind of a thing. So basically what do you want in your opinion? Please go in the comment below and tell me. I'll be very happy to know, as all of you the fellow lovers of football in India. I want you people to go and comment on down below and say me that what do you want in this lawsuit to go up, because it's the deadline is 31st of July. By then you have to have this constitution drafted, otherwise a FIFA ban is imminent on your doorstep, which you don't want to get, because India is a rising football giant again. And right now if you get a FIFA ban, it would be more than for a country like India, it will be a more shameful thing than it can ever be. Like a sports of football with 2022 Qatar World Cup on its doorstep, with so many with even getting a slot in the AFC Asian Cup for India for playing in 2023. It is a shameful event if we get a ban by FIFA for not actually making the things on deadline. So what you people think about it, please do in the comment below, write in the comment below, and please do tell me that if you like this or not. Give it a like as it helps with the algorithm, and you people might also give me a share to your friends and let them know that what they want to what they want as in for the Indian football future. So I'll be your host, seeing next podcast with an informative podcast again. So till then, be happy. Corona isn't gone yet, so take care. I'll be meeting you